Awesome. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us this afternoon for this very exciting training that we'll embark upon. We've done this for several of our markets, once on Tuesday and a couple weeks ago with our New York group, and I believe this training will be very, very exciting for a lot of you that have wondered what it's all about. So we are finally launching our self-service option or self-service service portal for advertisers, funeral homes like yourselves, to be able to take advantage of a good opportunity of placing your ads on your own. So this gives you an option to place all of your obits with the families while they're meeting with you, or shortly after they've left your establishment, and you're able to put together their obituary. You're able to get the pricing right away, so there's no lag or wait in the process, and save more time, hopefully, throughout the process of placing the obit. So this really gives you a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week availability, and you're able to produce these at any time. So today's training is going to go through how that is done. And then after that, we'll follow up with making sure that all of our users have their credentials for login and passwords and everything else like that. In addition to launching our self-service portal, we are offering all of our advertisers to take advantage of a 15% off discount. So you'll be able to, starting on the 19th, take advantage of 15% off of every obit that you place using the self-service portal. So it's an added bonus and extra advantage given out to all of you. And including with that, we also offered, if you got my reminder yesterday, an additional $75 credit to your monthly bill. So just an added bonus for thanking you guys for joining us today and learning about the portal. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to our host, and James, and he'll take us all through how to use the system, and we'll go from there.
Well, welcome everyone. Thanks, Eddie. Look, this can be very informal. If you guys have any questions, don't feel free to just stop me and ask questions. I'm going to take you through what your experience is going to look like, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end as well. So this is the URL that you guys will be coming to, and Eddie and Jake are going to be communicating that with you along with your username and password. You're going to log in. I'm going to switch to, when you log in, you're going to be taken to your dashboard, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. I'm going to switch to a funeral home account so that I can point out a few other features that are in the system. So bear with me while I do that. Okay, so when you log in, your dashboard is going to look very similar to this. You'll click this Create a New Ad button to get started. You will pick which publication you want to publish your obituary in. You can pick multiple ones if you, or no, actually you can only pick one or one of each of these. And then you click Continue from here. If you're going to do a death notice, you would pick death notice. If you're going to do a full-fledged obituary, you would choose the obituary, which is what we're going to focus on today. And then from here, you're going to click Continue. And then you're going to be given the choice of layout. So there are a number of different layouts. You have a text-only layout right here. You have a layout that has a photo and an emblem. You have a layout that has a photo only without the emblem. And then it looks like two different layouts, one with multiple photos and an emblem, and one with multiple photos without the emblem. So you would pick the one that you want to use or the family wants to use. I double-clicked it, and it'll take me directly to that template, and you can start building your obituary. So I'm going to start typing some information in. The fields with the red asterisks are mandatory, obviously. Um, if you use a text editor to write your obituaries in, if that's where your comfort level is, you can continue to do that. You can type them in Word or whatever text editor you use. I've typed mine in this other text editor, so I'm just going to copy that text, and then I can paste it into the obituary field here. If you can also obviously type it right into this field as well. There are other fields that you can use, and you can play around with putting in a memento, arrangements header, and arrangements information if you'd like. Actually, I'll put in an arrangement because I have some information here, and then I'll copy my arrangements information, and I'll paste it into that into that block as well, so you can see what the arrangements information would look like. For your emblems, if the family would like to include an emblem of a civic organization that their loved one, was affiliated with, or they served, or they wanted just a patriotic one, you can pick an emblem there. For the deceased photo, you can upload the photo. You click the upload button. It'll take you to your computer. You would navigate in your computer where that image is, and then you would upload it. If there are other people in the photo, or you would just like a better crop of the photo, you can click this crop image link right here, and that will open up another tool that will allow you to crop the photo. So you would just drag a box or draw a box around the deceased, and then that will crop out all the other information. Once you're satisfied with that, you click accept, and it will change in your template. If you would like to put in your funeral home logo, if you click on the image gallery, that will take you to the logo area so that you can pick your logo from the list here. I don't see Gormley here, so I will just, I won't put in a logo at this point. Well, I'll put in the Dignity logo. So, and then you'll see where the logo will be shown in the obituary. Keep in mind too that at all points, anytime you make changes like that or you add text, your pricing is getting updated in real time right up here in the right-hand corner. So then from here, you're going to click continue. You're going to get a proof of the obituary. We've gotten a lot of feedback from funeral homes across the country. They're really thankful for this portion. You get to see the obituary in real time right here, but if you scroll down and you click on this preview your ad, it will open up the obituary that you just typed, and it will as a high-res PDF. And if the family is in the funeral facility with you, you can print this for them. You can email it to them, or you can print it out and proof it in another way if you're interested in doing it that way as well. So you just you have immediate access to the proof. So from here, you're going to click continue. You're going to be given a deadline-sensitive calendar for the publication that you selected in the first step. The light gray are the available days. The dark gray are the days that are past deadline. So then from here, you're going to click continue, and you'll be given the opportunity to fill out the fields, the form here for lasting memories. So lasting memories is a dedicated website that the family's licensing at the point of sale for the obituary. They're going to manage the website, and iPublish will do the support for any technical things that go wrong with the site or they have questions. You guys don't have to support that at all. So at this point, you're just going to put in the first and last name of the family member that you're working with and their email address. And then the last required field is the gender of the deceased. You're feel free to fill out other information if the family wants to provide that or you want to put that in. But the only required information up front is the first and last name and the gender of the deceased. And then you're going to click continue from here. These are the search fields that will assist the community to be able to find this individual through search on the internet. So as much information as you have and that you can put in for this information, it would be helpful for the family and the loved ones that are going to be looking for this loved one. And then from here, you're going to click continue. And then you're going to be ready to check out. So as Eddie said in the intro, starting tomorrow actually, you're going to be getting, you can use a promotional code to get 15% off this, any obituary that you place between now and September. You just type in the number 15 and hit apply promotion, and you will see that discount show up immediately. Then from here, if you are going to have this billed to the funeral home later, you would select the bill to client account checkbox there. If the family would like to pay for it or you want to use a credit card information, you could put in your credit card information here. Just make sure to update the billing information for the credit card that you're putting in. You're going to agree to the advertising terms and conditions, and then you're going to purchase the obituary. This is a live, so your site's live, and I'm actually in a funeral home's account. So I'm not going to purchase it today because I don't want this showing up in their account. But when you hit purchase, everything happens immediately. It sends the obituary to the newspaper. It sends the production file to the newspaper so that it can get paginated. And then you're going to get a confirmation, and I'm going to open one of these up so you can see. You'll get a confirmation on your screen that'll look exactly like this. Obviously, the obituary would be different, but and then this actually shows up in your email box, in your inbox for email. And in the email, this box, this picture of the obituary is clickable. So if you click on it, it'll bring you right back to the site. So a few things about the dashboard area. When you first log in, you're going to be taken to this area right here. So any notice that you've saved and that you haven't submitted for publication yet would show there. Any obituary that's currently publishing would show here. And any obituary that's been scheduled for the future would show here. Now, once the obituary publishes, it falls off your dashboard, so you won't see it in your dashboard anymore. But it hasn't been thrown away. It's just going to show up under the View All Ads area. So if you click on the View All Ads area, you will see every obituary that you've ever published. And you may see some in there when you first log in because folks at the Lowell Sun have been putting in obituaries on your behalf until the launch of this. So let's say that you need to find a particular obituary for a family. You can click on this show filter and it has a search field that you can start typing in a family's name or a first person's name. And when you hit find, it will find every obituary that matches that search criteria. And then you can open it. You can reorder the ad if you need to. You can use the ad copy to choose a different template if you want. You have access to that content. So that's a lot of information. I'm going to pause and ask, are there any questions at this point that I can answer for anybody?
I have a question.
Okay.
What happens if a family, which often does happen, calls and requests a change be made after we've already gone through the process of publishing? How do we go about getting, a grandchild added or a name, the spelling corrected or something like that?
That's a great question, actually. So after the ad is published or after you've submitted it to be published?
Well, either way, worst case scenario.
Okay. So after you submit it, and let me log out of this funeral home because again, I don't want to make any changes to this. But after you submit the ad for publishing, as long as it's not past deadline, you can come into the site, you can find the family's obituary, and you'll see this modify and submit link.
Okay.
And then you can just simply click on that. That'll take you right back into the workflow and will allow you to make any changes to the text of the obituary. You can change the photo, you can add a photo. As long as it's not past deadline, you have complete access to the obituary up until deadline, and you can change it as many times as you want. After deadline, you will have to call. You'll have to call in to the Lowell Sun or to the newspaper to get it changed for you. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Yeah.
I see a question that would be for Eddie and Jake. Kathy is asking, when will this be available?
I'll take that one. So when I get back to house, depending on how long it takes me to drive, I will be sending out either this afternoon or tomorrow morning login information for everyone that's on the call. Now, hopefully, everyone provided email addresses when you signed in or responded to Eddie and said that you're attending. If you didn't do any of those things, James, if you could just put my email address on the screen.
Yeah, let me get back to the Word document. All right, go ahead.
If you want to just send me an email address and say, hi, I'm go home, please send me my login information. I'll send you the URL, the login, as well as a recording of this webinar. So that way, if you need to reference it, you can go it, you'll have that information. And then if there's any other questions, you run it, you'll have my information and I can help you troubleshoot in the future. So short answer, it should be ready tomorrow. If you don't hear from me by say 11 a.m. tomorrow, absolutely reach out. Feel free to pester me. I will get you the info. My hope is I can't see that there's 90 people on this call, and so it might take me a little bit of time to get you what you need.
So for those viewing the screen, I just typed up Joel's email address. I'll actually copy it as well and put it in the chat window for the meeting that we're on right now. So if you want to copy and paste that from there, you can do that as well. Kim beat me to the...
I just put it in there, so if you're in the chat window for this, you'll see it's J Loeb, that's for Jake, at MediaNewsGroup.com. And then up on the screen, you also see phone numbers for both Jake and for Eddie. So questions can be directed to them. They will be reaching out with your username and password and a link to the website to start using. So hopefully, Kathy, we answered your question, and that was helpful to everyone. Thank you so much.
Another quick way, this is Eddie here over at the Lowell Sun. So more likely, all of our viewers today found out about today's webinar from the email that I sent. So you can easily go back and find that email and respond to that email that comes directly to me over at the Lowell Sun. And I can also help in getting all of the credentials set up for everyone today too. So just another way of doing that. And to the question earlier, James, regarding making changes to an obit, okay, and you mentioned that If it's before deadline, we can go in and modify that. And obviously past deadline, we'd want to contact one of the ladies at the obit desk, either Trisha or Betty. But if the funeral home is sitting with a family and putting the obit together right then and there, and the family decides to pay for that obit on their credit card, and they do that, and the family goes on about their business. And then later on that day, the family says, oh, geez, we forgot to add so-and-so, and they've already paid for that. How then does the funeral home deal with an adjusted charge, if they're adding lines or adding content, or even subtracting content from the obit? How do they deal with that?
Right. So that's another great question. So in that scenario that Eddie just described, where the family paid for, the obituary was paid for by the family's credit card, the system stores a transaction token for that credit card, which will allow the funeral home, in this case, to go back in at another time, if needed, to make any additional changes to the obituary. They're told, that the funeral home will be told if there are credits that are going to be credited back to the credit card, or if there are additional charges that are going to be charged to the credit card. You will be made aware of that, and you can let the family know that you made that change per their request, or you found a grammatical error and you fixed it and it ended up charging an additional line, whatever. You'll know that exactly how much the additional charges or the credit is going to be to the credit card.
You'll also be able to download an updated proof. So you'll be able to show the change as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, if you're billing, if you're going to do a bill me later option, you can make as many changes as you want. And your bill will just reflect what the final cost is after all your changes. Dean made a comment that says the paper puts a heading under the person. Yeah, Dean, I didn't fill out all the fields. But that functionality, I think, will still be there, right, Eddie or Jake? The field below the heading under the person's name.
Yes, that should still be in place. And I do believe, and because I don't use the site every day, is that one of the line items, Betty? I think Betty Bukala's on the call. Is that one of the lines that you fill in when you enter an ad in?
Yes, excuse me, yes it is.
Okay, do you know which line that is when you're...
Memento.
Oh, the memento, okay, yeah, I didn't fill that field in. So, Dean, for your benefit, I'll do that right now. So I'll start doing this again. So, let's see, let me put a picture in and get some text back in here really quickly. And then I'll put a picture in real quick. Put a deceased photo. So Dean, can you see where, oh, you got it. Okay, good. Dean says you got it. So if you want that text underneath the name of the deceased, you would just put that in there. All right, any other questions? Okay, so Eddie, I don't see any other questions coming through.
Dean just asked if there was a cost for logos.
Oh,
We just got it in the chat window. What is the cost to add a symbol or logo?
Eddie or Betty, do you guys want to answer that?
Betty?
Yes, there's a $15 logo fee. Excuse me.
Okay.
Terrific. Any additional questions? Okay, Eddie, you want to say thanks and we'll be all set then?
Yeah, this was great. Some great questions, great feedback. Love to hear that. We know that this is going to be a new thing for everyone and a work in progress, but our obituary team is definitely here to help everyone, and we have several of our customers currently using iPublish, and they're doing it well. So I'm very confident that this should go over well for everyone, and we will definitely get in contact to everyone on this webinar today and make sure we get you set up as soon as possible so you can start utilizing it yourself and taking advantage of the discounts that are available for you. You'll also see that $75 thank you credit posted to your bill, and as our appreciation for joining us today and taking the time out of your busy days. So with that, I'll let you know that you can reach out to me anytime to share any information or questions that you might have regarding this. And we hope that everybody jumps on board and appreciates the opportunity to be able to do this on your own whenever you have to. Thank you very much for the partnership. We appreciate everybody in your business and confidence in us. And for Jake, myself, and Betty, thank you and have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Eddie. Thanks, Jake. Thanks, Betty. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.